The Department of Water and Sanitation has released its 2023 full Blue Drop report. The report provides an assessment of drinking water quality. It also indicates or includes the full number of drop report, which focuses on water losses and non-revenue water in all municipalities in the country. The detailed report also includes the Green Drop Progress Assessment. The Green Assessment provides an update on the performance of wastewater management systems at municipal level. Deputy Minister of Water and Sanitation, David Mahlobo, now joins us via our video link to give us more on this update. Deputy Minister, thank you so much for joining us here on the late edition. One would say that looking at the results of this Blue Drop results or report, is the Water Department doing a good job in ensuring that clean and quality drinkable water is delivered to South Africans?
No, thank you very much, Mbali, and to all your viewers across the length and breadth of our land. The issue is not about whether the department is doing its role or not, because, Mbali, you will acknowledge that there is a clear separation of us between the Department of Water and Sanitation that must ensure water security, the management and protection of water resources. But this report that comes out by government, nearly after 10 years it has stopped. It's a self-assessment where we critique ourselves and we say that as a country, despite that we've made progress over the last 9 years after the report came out, there are areas of concerns that we must say in Bali.
Yeah.
When you look at Blue Drop, then those numbers have dropped.
Yeah.
And we look at the issues of non-revenue water, they've dropped. But there are still areas of excellence. And that we must be able to support, because the standard that we have set is a very stiff standard in terms of South African national standard. In terms of SAN 241, you must achieve 95%, which is a very high standard. Therefore, we congratulate those municipalities. They can pride themselves. Investors, they can come in. They can assure that we do a lot.
Yeah.
But the municipalities that have performed badly, we are supporting them with the Department of Copter, working with SALCA. In terms of deployment of our own specialists, we are giving them the grants that are necessary to support them to improve the water management, whether it's raw water, whether it's the wastewater system. And we'll continue to do so. But where they continue to fail, especially when it comes to Green Drop, we are going to continue to prosecute them, because they have an impact on the environment. They have the impact in terms of exposing people on health issues. That is our attitude in dealing with this issue.
And Minister, let's talk about this report coming out from your department. And you're saying that, it's to check, to ensure that if whether, good quality water is still being delivered to, South Africans as a whole. And according to your report, it seems as if there has been some sort of regression, despite there still being the good news when it comes to good quality water still being delivered, particularly to metropolitan municipality. What is the cause of this regression? And I ask this because almost once or twice a week on this program, we see various stories from various municipalities where residents are complaining that they don't have proper access to water, where the quality of water is questionable. So when you look at this report, what is the main cause of the regression that we continue to see on the ground from many South Africans?
The issues of regression are caused by various issues, Mbali. Some of these issues are historical. When you look at a province like Gauteng and the Western Cape, the apartheid government at that particular point, there was the highest investment around those particular areas in terms of capacity, around the development of infrastructure, very, very good infrastructure, because those were the centers that the government at the time to do. but also the institutions were built. Look at the example of the performance of the municipalities in Gauteng. They are supported by a strong water service provider, which is Randwater. When you go to that particular system, you could see that the role of water boards, whether municipal-owned entities, they will perform well, including the Western Cape. But historically, when you look at the municipalities with small towns, those municipalities in rural communities, there is an issue of leadership, but then there is an issue of viability. These municipalities in the main, in those communities, are grant dependent. Some of these municipalities, when you look at the brood drop, especially when it comes to microbial and chemical assessment, some of them, they run out, for an example, of chemicals. They can't have chlorine, they can't have the flocculants that are there. But at the very same time, these are the same municipalities where many people who are highly professional and engineers, they have a temptation to come to cities. They can't attract those particular skills. Therefore, we have a biggest responsibility that even those who live in rural municipalities and small towns, they too are human beings. Yeah. And the government must ensure, in terms of our own models, in terms of support, we strengthen the support. They are able to do the provision of services. But where there are missteps, we must be very hard in dealing with those particular issues. There's issues around their capability to spend and the projects that are not being finished on time. And that's why most of our resources, they go on support to municipalities. Yeah. But in few instances, where they impact negative, like water quality, deterioration of water and exposing our people on the things I've said, we don't hesitate in giving them directives, opening up the cases, so that at least every polluter must know that pollution must be stopped. And if you can't stop it, you will then be prosecuted.
Yeah, and Deputy Minister, I know that you keep tabs on these municipalities, especially the municipalities which are struggling. Perhaps maybe just, if you can, just tell us, what are the plans for these municipalities? Not so long ago, if I'm correct, just last week we had issues in Mpumalanga, there are issues in the Northern Cape. According to your report, there are problems in the Free State. What are the plans to resolve these issues and to grant South Africans their basic human right to proper access to quality water?
We as a Minister of Water, the Minister, Deputy Ministers, we have traveled the entire country. We have assessed what's happening. We have spoken to the leadership of provinces led by premiers, and we're clearly supporting them. Let's make an example here in Gauteng. You will recall, Mbali, that people of Mfuleni in the van, they've been subjected to sewer in the street and in their own homes, including the Vaal River, for many, many years, probably more than 20 years. Currently, we know that we're intervening in the Vaal, working with the province of Gauteng, and many of those matters around infrastructure failure, especially the wastewater systems. We've attended to them in terms of with Randwater. You can go to Mpumalanga, for an example, in a town like Standerton, where sewer was running in the street. It was a mess in that particular municipality. We've gone in there, we're supporting that municipality. The problem is resolved. The matter you dealt with last week of Umsubalik, I was there in person, where there were issues of housing development that is being done without putting the basic infrastructure in terms of access to those particular amenities. And we are providing our technical teams a put a report. We will have to be in a position to stop that pollution. Yeah. You go to a big city like eThekwini, where their sewer system were polluting the seawater that is there. They've agreed that to work with Umgeni, Utugela Water Board. We are going to take about 10 of their wastewater systems so that we can support that, because no South African must be exposed to sit in areas where there's a sewer spillage. Sewer spillages must be taken care of as a serious matter, but more importantly, where there are issues, we must be able to intervene, give them the capacity, whether in terms of Section 154, whether in terms of Section 63, in terms of our own interventions.
Deputy Minister, thank you so much for your time here on SABC News. That is Deputy Minister for Water and Sanitation, David Mahlobo, just giving us his insight there when it comes to that Blue Drop report that was released by the department today.